What's going on, everybody? We're back. I'm Glenn,
I'm Tyler.
and this is the Channel Surfers, baby. Woo! Alrighty. So just to recap with you guys what this is about, we're going to be just talking about different TV shows, different movies, giving you our opinions on everything current, everything in the past, everything upcoming, and kind of just guiding you guys on what you should watch, so that way you can kind of skip the channel surf, for lack of better terms. So for this episode, we're going to let you guys know what's the best show or movie that we watched this week. That's how we're going to start it off. We're going to start it off like that pretty much every week. So Tyler, go on, let us know what's the best thing you watched this week.
So I'm actually re-watching Percy Jackson TV show, because, new season and everything, so I just got to refresh myself. Mostly it's for my wife, but, it's because she didn't finish the first season, so we got to rewatch it. So that's what I'm watching right now. So if you haven't watched it, watch that shit.
And that's on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Percy Jackson, the book, it's a book adaptation. Everybody's pretty familiar with it. If you haven't, I don't know what you did in school. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, it's a really good show. Disney Plus. And the new season just kicked off. Best thing I watched this week was the Welcome to Derry series. That is week to week, Sunday night HBO. This is one of the best television shows I think I've ever seen. I'm learning that Stephen King is like a mastermind, and everything is tied in his universe. As far as horror, I hate horror, and I am terrified watching this show. Pennywise is a fucking animal. But yeah, no, I absolutely love this show. I love the way it's diving deep into the history of Derry. Like I said, it's a great Sunday night HBO Sunday night show. They do what they do, and it is easily already some of the best television from this year.
And it's got a guy from The Shining in there.
Yeah,
a character from The Shining, anyway.
Yes,
my wife doesn't. My wife keeps telling me, she's like, I don't like this show. I'm like, well, that's too bad because we're watching it anyway. I was like, I don't know how you don't like this. I was like, this shit's fantastic. I don't know what's wrong with people.
Like, man, that's so good.
Bro, I'm over here like, bro, Pennywise had them kids in the movie in easy mode, bro.
Yeah.
He was fucking them up.
Man, it's been a great show, and I love that they're gonna keep going. They have like a multi-plan seasons like ahead, so they're gonna like go to different time periods and everything. I like that it's shaped around the Cold War. Like, we was gonna drop Pennywise in Russia. That was gonna get him.
That was crazy.
Yeah. So one of the big topics this week for us is, as consumers, I want to know, how you guys like to watch, how you guys like to consume. We have the Netflix binge method, where we're gonna drop everything on a Friday 2 a.m. Then kill it. You want to watch all 12 episodes? Do it. Do you like the traditional week-to-week method where, hey, it comes out one episode at a time every Tuesday at, 2:00 in the morning? Then you have the hybrid week-to-week, which is something Netflix kind of adapted, where it'll drop, 3 or 4 episodes and then make you wait like a month for the rest of it. Or do you like the appointment television, where this comes out at this time every week, which I guess actually is the original method of television. 7 p.m. on a Tuesday, 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, 9 a.m. on a Sunday. So Tyler, how do you prefer to watch?
I really think it depends on the show, because obviously, like, there's HBO shows I feel like are made to be watched week by week, like House of the Dragon and things like that. Like they have like the appointment type television. Like it Welcome to Derry isn't necessarily like that, because I just watch it whenever. But they have like their big shows like that, like The Pit, House of the Dragon, and things like that. Then I would say like there's other shows, kind of like pretty much most of the Netflix shows, but I think it's just the way they make their shows, like the way they pace their stories and everything is like, okay, hey, like I could sit down and watch all these back to back to back. With with shows like House of the Dragon, I feel like those stories are so convoluted that like I really don't want to sit there and watch those back to back to back to back. I'd probably get bored. I was
Mhm.
like, all right, well, I'm done with this. So it's like getting time to process those shows. And then, but I mean, I don't really complain about weekly drops or week to week drops because I mean, it's something new to watch every week, so that's always nice. But
Yeah.
I do hate when it's on a Sunday because I usually can't watch it until like Monday. And then, I mean, there's a variety of different every platform's dropping something now, and they always do it in different ways, so it just kind of balances everything out anyway. And then, I mean, like I don't know, Amazon does what sometimes they do week to week, and then I think they do drop the occasional like binge show. But I
They'll
do like,
do the when they start a show, they do like 3 episodes to start.
yeah,
Then they'll try to do week to week sometimes. Sometimes they'll do an additional three.
yeah,
Um, so again, I think for me it really just depends on the show. I do prefer there was like an animated show to me doesn't necessarily need a week to week release.
yeah,
Um, I think that something like that where it's not pulling emotional heartstrings, where it's not such a deep plot, it doesn't necessarily need a week to week. Also, if it's not an hour long, don't make me wait a week for 20 minutes of television. Um, I absolutely love appointment television though, because that gives you something to look forward to during the work week. Oh, if I can just get to Wednesday, 6 p.m., it's gonna be this show or whatever. The Netflix model, I think, with the binge when it started, I think that it was such a breath of fresh air. It was, man, I could watch everything I want to watch right here in a moment. But there's something to speak to water cooler conversations where it's like the slow build, like, hey man, like I've been watching this show for the last couple of weeks. Like, have you seen this show? Like, and then it's like, oh man, I'm okay, I'll go home and watch blah blah blah. And I feel like that was the beauty of the pit
mm-hmm.
because the pit started off with no real traction and then it's word of mouth. Even Darius, like local Darius, each episode is getting higher viewership
Yeah,
because it is a slow word of mouth. Like, yo, you got to watch this show. Like, you know, and I think there's nothing better to me than the experience of having a movie theater feel at home when you know everybody is watching the same exact thing. There was that
yeah,
famous clip when House of the Dragon came out, and somebody posted that an apartment complex, and you could see that multiple people in that apartment complex were watching the same exact show based on the way their TVs were lighting up in their apartment. That to me is so fire. That's so fire because you're really getting a shared experience, and that's what it's all about.
yeah. I mean, I think, and that's why I say like I think the appointment television is cool, and I don't really have a problem with any of them because
Mhm.
I think that since there's so many streaming platforms and they're all doing it, I mean, I guess a lot of them are doing it the same way. Like Apple TV pretty much does weekly,
Mhm.
and then Netflix does some weekly shows, and then they do obviously like the binge type thing. But I like the binge ones because it gives me something to watch in between all of that.
For sure.
And then there's, I mean, obviously there's movies too, but
My
sometimes,
biggest problem with Netflix, my biggest problem with Netflix is they're getting away from their binge, and now they're doing this shit where they're splitting seasons. Don't do that.
yeah,
Don't do that. Oh, we're gonna give you 4 episodes with a cliffhanger, and then a month from now you can watch it again. All right, what?
yeah,
That I might forget it. It's
yeah,
so much stuff coming out, and it's like now I'm gonna have to rewatch it to get back into it. Like, just stay with your model or go the other way. But don't. They split the U season up. They be split Emily in Paris. Like, why are you splitting these shows?
yeah.
Why
Shows
are you
like
splitting?
that, shows like that, I'm not like, all right, don't split that stuff. But like Stranger Things, I didn't really have a problem with because I was like, all right,
Yeah,
these are
for sure.
like 2 hour episodes.
Yes, exactly. You got to go back and watch that anyways.
Yeah,
And they drop 8 years apart. So, but like I said, I think that the hardest thing with the Netflix binge was the simple fact of like, when can you talk about the show? Like you can't discuss it with somebody. And that's what watching TV and watching movies and everything is about, talking about it. And
I
it's
mean,
like, hey, I haven't watched it yet.
I feel like it depends because I mean, some people like if there's a show that like a Netflix show that comes out and they're like, oh, I need to watch that. Like, and usually they'll watch it like immediately, or even
Mhm.
if you're just going like, okay, I watched the first couple episodes, you can still talk about it. But I mean, if somebody hasn't watched it, I mean, that's their own problem. That means they probably haven't watched the HBO show either. So that's only one episode. So you're telling
That's
me you
true.
only watched one episode of this whole damn TV show that dropped out here on
Yeah.
Netflix? Like, come on now.
No, I get it. So
Yeah, because there's people that literally wait for like season finales to start a season of a TV show because they're like, oh, I just don't want. I'm like, so you're just not worried
I
about
know. Yeah.
spoilers at all?
Nell is always like that. Our friend Donnell, he literally says like, "Oh, what episode is it on?" I'll be like, "Episode 4," and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna wait till episode 8, and then I'll catch up to y'all." I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
I can't do that because I be seeing spoilers over and it pisses me
Yeah,
off.
you
I'm like,
can't go
oh,
nowhere. Like, oh, I already know what's gonna happen in the show, but I'm gonna watch it anyways.
yeah, I can't. No, there ain't no way.
Oh
in hell.
man. So next, well, before we move on, once this drops, let us know in the comments how you guys like to watch, what your guys' thoughts are on binge, weekly, appointment television, hybrid. So now we're gonna move over to me and Tyler are gonna give you we're gonna give you one show each that we think is criminally underrated, a show that we love that you may or may not have seen, that we feel didn't get any traction. And I'll go first. The show that I absolutely love is on Netflix. It is a Netflix original. It's called Dead to Me. It came out in 2019. It has Christina Applegate, Linda Cardellini, and James Marsden. James Marsden, the Cyclops. He was in 27 Dresses.
Paradise.
He was in Paradise. Linda Cardellini. If you're 30 years old, Linda Cardellini is Velma. She was in Grandma's Boy, looking fine as hell.
Freaks and Geeks.
And then if Christina Applegate, come on, the sweetest thing. We don't need to say anything else. We don't need to say anything else. But basically, the show is basically a woman goes through a tragedy. She like befriends a neighbor essentially. And it's like dark comedy, but they kind of bond over a shared experience of death. And when I tell you, it is absolutely hilarious, but it also has so much heart. Yeah, by the end of the show, you will be boo fucking hooing when I tell you. It is an absolute great show. It doesn't have that many seasons. I want to say it's 3 seasons. But again, like I said, it's one of Netflix's best shows because it has a lot of heart, and that's the thing Netflix lacks in a lot of shows. But this is an amazing comedy for sure. So that's Dead to Me.
Yeah, I do love that show. I actually watched it like last year, I think, and my wife loved that show.
So
that
good,
was
man.
dope. Oh yeah, that show was bad. I think we actually because it ended last year, right?
Mhm.
It was the last season. Yeah, I think we ended up catching up to it right before they finished it. Mine is it's a badass show, and I'm surprised. Like I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but because I mean, even when it came out, I had like barely heard about it. But it's Warrior, and it's on HBO and Netflix, and I talk about it all the time because it's badass. And I honestly, I think I've heard of maybe like 2 or 3 people actually mention it, and it's just like the most insane show ever. So it's basically just like a crime drama type show based in like 19th century San Francisco in Chinatown, and like this guy comes over there and basically just proves he's a badass and just becomes a hitman essentially. And it's just, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell the whole story for you because you just got to watch it, but it's basically kung fu type shit. He's out here beating people's ass all the time. And
gangs, corruption.
Yep.
It's based around the Chinese railroad, everything during that time frame. You know what the coolest thing about Warrior is the fact that everybody in that show that is Chinese is speaking Chinese.
Yeah.
But they're speaking English for us.
Yeah. I like the language change, how they do that. It's like they literally go from speaking English to Chinese, and like I'm like, oh shit.
That's what they did in Shogun as well, where it was like they're speaking Japanese, but we're hearing it in English.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to read Japanese subtitles and Portuguese subtitles. So I was like, and it took me a while to actually realize that because I was like, why can't they hear what they're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
everybody speaks good ass English in this show. It would be the 1900s.
Yeah, it was no, it was cool the way they did that. I was like, holy shit! I was like, I really didn't expect it. I was kind of, that's like the first time I'd really seen that kind of thing, and I was like, oh shit, okay, that's kind of
Yeah.
dope actually.
And the main guy, he was in G.I. Joe.
And he's gonna be Ryu in Street Fighter.
Yeah, he be whooping ass,
Oh,
boy.
bro,
He
he
be fighting. Like
fucking
it's some
shit.
them karate scenes, them kung fu scenes, man,
Mm-hmm.
he be whooping some ass in
Bro,
there.
he's crazy, crazy as
That's a
hell.
good show. You know what's
It's
crazy?
on
That show
HBO and
started on
Netflix, guys.
yeah, HBO and Netflix. That show started on Cinemax when
Yeah.
Cinemax was a thing. That's crazy how long ago that was.
Mm-hmm. Well, it took a while for season 2 to come out, and
Hmm.
then season 3 dropped. I think, God, what was it like
Because
last?
Cinemax canceled it and HBO picked it up when they
Yeah,
like absorbed Cinemax basically.
because it was like, yeah, because it took a while for season 2 to come out, and then I think that's probably why a lot of people didn't talk about it. And then like I think season 3 dropped literally like the next year or something like that. Like
And then they
it went
canceled
back
it
into,
again. Why you
yeah,
can't
I don't
just
know.
cancel that show?
I mean, 3 seasons is fine. At least it got
That's cool.
three
Yeah,
out,
that's a good
right?
enough show.
So
Yeah. So, all right. So next part right here, this is something that's very near and dear to us. Just gonna let you guys kind of know who we are. We're gonna tell y'all our personal 5 favorite shows of all time. These are not the best shows of all time. So please do not be like, where's this show? What about this one? What about this one? These are our personal shows. There's some bad shows on here, probably. We don't care. This is what we like. Okay. So we're gonna give you all 5. Tyler's gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one, so on and so forth. Tyler, what's your? Let's start with 5. Actually, let's slow build.
I mean,
What's your?
I don't necessarily have them in order per
Okay, well,
se. Maybe
mine are
maybe
ordered. So
a couple of them might be, but I'm gonna give you like the one I wrote down last. So
okay, I have mine
my
ranked. I have mine ranked in how many times I've rewatched it.
that's fair. I
So
mean,
that lets you know, like, okay, this is probably my favorite show.
see, my thing is like some of these are just like have a shitload of seasons, so I haven't rewatched them like 50,000 times.
Yeah.
But there's some that I have watched quite a few times. But Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the first, like it's the last one on my list, but
Anime baby.
yeah, it's anime, and that's the reason it's on my list is because like whenever I first watched it, I was like I wasn't really into anime like that. Like I'm still not like a diehard anime person or whatever. Like whatever. Like the only thing I had watched was like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and the normal shit. But
Dragon Ball.
I didn't watch that bullshit. I hate Dragon Ball.
Really?
I'm a Dragon Ball hater.
Okay, well,
It's the
there you go. You've learned
same
something
story
about
every time.
you've learned something about Tyler.
Yeah, it's the same story every time, and I don't want to hear nothing else about it. Then
That's
again,
crazy.
to be fair, that happens with a lot of the Shonen Jump animes anyway. But regardless, uh, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because that shit, like I don't know, it actually like kept my attention, and it wasn't. I mean, there's certain episodes. There's like how the lead character is always like a crybaby, kind of.
Okay.
They kind of do that a lot, but he was kind. I mean, he was a crybaby, but he was still kind of a badass. And then it has like one of the saddest episodes of television I've ever fucking seen. And it was apparently this was made after the original run of the show because they caught up to the manga, and then they just kind of made their own ending. And then they were like, yeah, we got to redo that. And they pretty much just shortened all of that into like one season. And I don't know. I just thought it was super badass. And I've watched a few more animes since then, but I still think that one's my favorite.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think that's just kind of, it's stuck with me. And I always recommend it anytime. It's like, I don't really watch anime. I'm like, just watch it. If you don't like it after that, then don't worry about it.
And where can people watch that now?
Oh, God, right now? Ooh. I mean, I've seen it go on and off of Netflix and Amazon, but I think right now, let's see. Right now it's on Hulu and Disney
Okay,
Plus.
there we
Actually,
go.
yeah, and it's on Netflix still, so there you go.
All righty. So you got some options for it. All right. So my 5th choice, I really struggled with this one, but I changed it a few times, but I had to go back because I know I'm such a comedy person. My 5th choice is Entourage. Entourage is a show that is based on a movie star trying to make his way through Hollywood, with his group of friends, his brother, his agent, and trying to, have a love life and all the chaos that becomes a movie star. It's supposed to be based on like Mark Wahlberg. He executive produced it, but it is pure chaos, pure comedy. Um, Ari Gold is one of the greatest television characters ever. Now, disclaimer, Entourage came out in 2004. So the comedy is very, you're going to be sensitive. The comedy is that. And I love that type of comedy. I love it when they say the things that people like, oh, you can't say that anymore. They say all that shit. And like I said, it is absolutely hilarious. It is a great show, easy watch, 8 seasons and the movie, and it's on HBO. And as you're gonna learn through my list, HBO, baby, home box office. That gets me every time. Yeah. So you can go ahead.
So I actually do have Entourage on my list, and I
Yeah,
added it fairly recently because I didn't have it on there. But then I kind of went back and thought about it, and I was like, "Damn, you know what?" I was like, "I've rewatched Entourage quite a few times,
this
and
background noise
dude,
is perfect.
and I always think about like, okay, the funniest characters in television history. Ari Gold is like he might damn near be number one because everything he says is literally gold in that show. That dude is so goddamn funny.
He's up there for me as far as like TV characters. Ari Gold, Barney from How I Met Your Mother, and Schmidt from
Yep.
New Girl are
Yep.
like three characters for me where I'm just like, without you, this show fails so bad. Like, there's just something about those characters where it just everything works for them.
Oh, for sure. No,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think New Girl without Schmidt could still be successful, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as funny because Winston does have
Yeah, I mean, he's
quite a few moments
Winston is
in the show.
hilarious.
But I think, yeah, without Schmidt, I don't know. Yeah, without Schmidt, it definitely would be the same.
Dynamic is just,
Yeah.
he like is almost another show.
Oh yeah. I love like.
So you have Entourage as well.
I do have Entourage on
Okay.
mine, and then so another one that I have. So this one, I mean, like we said, it's not the best shows, but this one was at the time it came out. It was House.
Oh my God.
Because
that show.
I've watched the shit out of that show, and it was like the first show, one of the first shows I really sat down and was like, all right, I'm watching the show every week, week to week. And then, I mean, and obviously Hugh Laurie was like, on his fucking run and getting nominated for Golden Globes left and right and shit, just doing whatever. And then Breaking Bad came out and ruined everything. And then, but I've rewatched that show so many times. And it's kind of started like the medical drama thing, like with ER went off and then House came on, but then it was kind of like he was really fucking funny, kind of an asshole, but I don't know, it was just like kind of the same premise every time, but it was better than Grey's Anatomy because they're not all like fucking each other on the show or whatever.
It's just drama.
Sometimes they are, but not every episode.
Yeah, Jen told me my Grey's Anatomy slander is too much because she said they do save lives. But I'd be like, every time I watch Grey's Anatomy, somebody was kissing somebody and people was dying. Maybe if you wasn't kissing, you can save some lives.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Grey's Anatomy.
House for me, that reminds me of my parents. That's a show my parents loved.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like a week to week. Like I never watched it all the way in completion, but I've watched enough episodes just because of the simple fact that like it was on in my house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because my parents were like, oh, I think it came on Fox. My parents were like, I want to say it came on like before or after American Idol. And it was like, oh, we're gonna watch House. When one TV in the house, we watching what the parents want to watch.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like my best friend, he used to watch it with his parents, and then I was like, I hadn't watched it at all, so I like binged the first like 3 seasons, and then I was like, oh, this show's kind of badass. I was like, I'm kind of hooked. So then I just kept up with it after that, and then I mean, I don't know, I tried to
watch House. Like I told myself I was gonna binge it right after the pit because I was like, okay, I'm a doctor now, right? So I tried to watch it. I tried to watch House and I tried to watch ER. I can't. It's just the pace of Pit is just so different for me.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So it was hard for me to like really get into it, and it became background noise. But I do actually want to go back and try to watch the Pit for sure. I mean, but Like I said, I haven't been able to do it yet.
If you got ADHD, you're gonna love the
For
pit
sure,
and hate the house.
for
House is
sure.
all good. Don't worry about it.
And House is on Amazon Prime. So another show for me is going to be The Office, a show that Tyler absolutely hates. The Office is some of the best pure comedy of all time. I don't care what nobody says. Tyler, like I said, he's sitting here, he's disagreeing. Um, just a pure show, man. Like those first two episodes when they're trying to do the British remake, eh. When they decide, hey, we're gonna do our own thing, Steve Carell is a genius. Is a genius. Um, perfect background, perfect background voice. Like I said, and everything about that show. I mean, if you've been unless you've been under a rock, The Office is every single character is so well written, uh, so much heart in the show. And then obviously the character breaking in the fourth wall, constantly looking at it, every like giving that face. Like I do that in life. Like when something happens, I look right at my camera, like, what the hell is going on here? Um, NBC show Peacock, but I mean, I don't really. It's hard to even explain The Office. People are selling paper, and it's just relationships, and it's just comedy. Because who the fuck is buying paper? They sell rings. How does it? What is that company? Office Depot? Like, so no, but I think it's a great show. I know Tyler hates it; he doesn't find any humor in it, but it's funny. So I'm telling you right now. Number three for me, because you got what Entourage.
I have Full Monogamous Brotherhood, House, and Entourage. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So right now I got Entourage and The Office. Number three for me, it's a show that is near and dear to my soul, is The Wire. It's the blackest show of all time. It's the most beautiful show. It's the most well written show about how the system is always corrupt. You can never stop the wheel of destruction. Based in Baltimore, these cops for 5 seasons are just trying to stop the war on drugs. And after 5 years of police work, all they're doing is removing the head guy, and it never stops, no matter what you do, because the politicians are involved, the exports, the other countries involved, and it is such an honest and raw look at the war on drugs and drug business in the city of Baltimore. Like I said, you watch that show, and it's five. Like I said, it's 5 seasons, and it shows like each level, like where it's like season one is based on like the low level of the drug business. Season two is based on how they get the drugs into Baltimore. Season three or whatever is based on like how the politicians are involved. It is such a, like I said, an honest look at the show. It's such a good show, like one of the all time shows for sure, and that's on HBO, of course.
Yeah, and then
And
I haven't actually had it watch. I haven't watched it yet, but it's on my very long list of shows that
that
I
should
need
need to
to
be at the
watch.
top.
Oh, I know it definitely
You can
is.
have mad
Towards
conversations with
there.
black people, like, yo, you seen The Office? Like, hell yeah, I seen The Office. I mean, I'm sorry, not The Office. What the hell? You seen The Wire?
I mean that
Hell
too,
yes.
though.
Yeah,
That too,
hell
though.
yeah, I seen The Wire.
Either one.
Yeah, hell yeah, I seen The Wire, man. I
No,
love
yeah,
Bodie.
I mean, I know a little bit about it,
Yeah,
but because I mean, like I've seen like clips here and there, and I've heard people talk about it a lot. But
yeah.
I never got around to watching it back in the day when it was first on. But I definitely want to because I mean, I know it's got a stacked ass cast. Especially back then, you wouldn't know that, but when you
Yeah,
look
for
at
sure.
it now, you're like, oh shit.
I watched it as a kid, which I shouldn't have, and I didn't really understand it, but I knew I was watching good TV.
Oh, yeah,
And then like each time I watch it like I watch it like I do a rewatch like every like 2 years.
yeah,
And it's just like, and I can't get Jen to try to watch it, but she can't really like sit down and get into it. But I'd be like, man,
yeah.
like look at this show. I'd just be sitting there in amazement.
And I feel
God,
like I would try to get my wife to watch it, but I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know if she would or not because it's who knows with her. It's
that's
like
black as
pulling
it's a
teeth
black as
trying to
hell
get her to
show.
sit
I'm
down and
gonna
watch
lie.
a show she doesn't like.
That shit black as hell.
I mean, that doesn't matter. She doesn't care about that. It's just like,
No,
is
for sure. I'm just saying it's a
is it slow paced or whatever? And if it is, like,
for sure.
so
People struggle with season two. Season one is all time.
yeah,
Season two, you have to appreciate. Once you get to season five, you appreciate season two, but you got to get there.
yeah. All right,
So what's your next one?
my next one is one of the, and I say this because it's not a continuous show. True Detective season 1, arguably the greatest single season of television of all time. Because Jesus Christ, I I don't even like, bro. That shit blew my mind when it
Yeah.
first came out, and I've rewatched it a couple of times, and I had my wife watch it, and she was kind of like, What is this?" And she doesn't really like detective type shows either,
Mhm.
but she was like, "Holy shit!" And then once I had her watch it, she was like, "Should we watch season 2?" I was like, "No, no, 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 no,
Nope.
no." Because we can stop.
Don't ruin it.
And I made her mom watch it. Her mom watched it. Her mom loved it. I was like, it's the single, like, I haven't heard anybody ever say that's a bad show. Like, ever.
I made Jen watch it after you talked about it because I completely forgot about it. And I had her watch it, and she said the same thing. Should we watch season 2? And it's like, don't smile because it's over. Smile because it happened.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I've heard good things about 3 and 4, so I might
The latest season, they say it brings back the feeling, and it's like,
Yeah.
with an anthology series, you don't really need to watch every season.
Yeah.
But yeah, Woody Harrelson, Matthew McConaughey,
They were in their bag in that show.
When you can make the point, because I remember we talked about it when you said that was the Matthew McConaughey year.
Yeah.
So you can tell the people what it was.
I thought he was gonna win the Golden Globe for that and for Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's gonna get both of them. Fuck, he's just gonna get, why not? You might as well get it out the way.
That was his Oscar year, and he was nominated for the Emmy. And I think he didn't win the Emmy, but
yeah, he didn't win the Emmy, which is crazy.
Yeah. I want to say, didn't Walter win it? Wasn't that a Bryan Cranston year?
I think so. Because I think that was the 5th year of Breaking Bad. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was the break. Yeah, so I mean, you can't argue with Breaking Bad because Breaking Bad is what it is.
But like, goddamn.
Yeah. Now Matthew McConaughey and like Woody Harrelson is so good in that show, but Matthew McConaughey is like on another level.
Oh yeah, it was. They started making Lincoln commercials kind of based around like just what he was talking about.
He talks, yeah. True Detective season 1 is all time. Again, just watch one season, turn it off.
Yep.
And move on with your life. Be like, wow, that's a good season of television. Man, what a great season.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. It's so good. It's just ridiculous. And it's not slow per se, but it's also not like super fast paced either. There's certain episodes that are like, all right, like have you on the edge of your seat, like, oh shit. But then it's definitely a story, so you really got to sit down and pay attention to it. Otherwise, you're gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? Because they'll do some callbacks in there and be like, oh shit, okay, I saw that one.
No, for sure. It's an off the phone television.
But yeah, 100%.
HBO, by the way.
Yep.
But did you think anything else? So my number 2 show, probably, I'm assuming this is going to be on your list. Game of Thrones. No, not on your list?
That's what I replaced Entourage with that because season 8 pissed me off so bad.
Yeah.
That I said, you know what?
Game of Thrones, man. They see how to stretch. I lost my hair watching Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. It was there. Game of Thrones. Y'all remember watching the movie Cars when Lightning McQueen is going around the track and then he blows his tires out? That's what Game of Thrones did. But Lightning McQueen, remember how he tied? The car just died right there. All 4 tires died. And that was it. Because that fat motherfucker won't finish the books. But he always want to talk about finishing the books. So we don't know what the hell is happening. So they just made up some shit. Because they was ready to go to Star Wars. And the show was so bad. The last season, Disney said, you ain't making Star Wars. What the hell is y'all thinking? You ain't getting no damn... They had a contract and Disney said, whoa, hell no. Hold on. Game of Thrones is a perfect show from season 1 to 7. Yeah, and they said, hey.
Jesus. Bro, if they would have nailed season 8, it would probably been the greatest show ever.
They were there. They were there.
I've never seen a show fall off so hard. Like,
they were there.
Think about the echelon that Game of Thrones was on.
Oh my
and
God.
Then season 8, that show literally just straight down.
I'll rewatch it all the time, and I get like right before season 8, it's like you gotta be like, okay, here we go, because I gotta finish it.
Like, as good as that show was, nobody talks about how good it was. They talk about how fucking terrible the last season was.
Oh my! And if you like the last season, you're a liar.
Yeah, there's no way out. Maybe the first 2 episodes, maybe. Yeah. But after that, it's just
Bram the Broken. Who? Why is Jon Snow Why is he behind the wall? Somebody with no dick told him he got to go behind the wall, and then he left the country. Why am I listening to you? Why am I listening to you? And now they're talking about remaking. We're gonna go back. We're gonna make shows based on that, and it's like they're gonna try to correct stuff. Okay, like what
I
are we
guess.
doing?
I guess.
But like I said, that show is some of the best television. Is it fantasy? Is it sci-fi? I don't know what to call this. People be sleeping with each other. They twins and they sleep together and they have kids. It's crazy. But listen, you're gonna be like, man, girl, give your brother some coochie. All he had to do to get back to you. That's what you're gonna say. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, what? Crazy show. I can't even. I don't. It's just when you watching Game of Thrones, you're gonna be watching. You're gonna be like, why everybody like this show? And like 2 seasons in, you're gonna be like, wait a minute. And then when you see that dragon get to Westeros, you're gonna be like, yeah, it's the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like I said, I had it on my list and I literally changed it like last minute and I put Entourage in there instead because I was like, hold on. I was like, you know what? Even though
I'd be so passionate about it, like,
oh yeah, Entourage's last season also wasn't like all that great, but it didn't fall off a fucking cliff either. Like
you can. It's like I always say, like How I Met Your Mother. I watched enough about it where they say they wrote the show ending first, and then they wrote the show.
yeah.
And when they got to the ending, they didn't realize, hey, the ending doesn't make any sense based on what we've been doing. So we're not going to change it. We're just going to leave it. Okay, bad ending.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was like, hey, we don't care. We're just going to write a bad ending and we're going to just ruin the whole show in general.
I think they also said they wrote a couple of characters like with the idea that they could have been the mother if the show didn't get picked up for another season. So there was like I always forget the girls' names, but like I think obviously Robin was the first one, and then show got picked up, so they're like, all right, never mind. And then the next one was the Baker lady who moved to Germany or whatever.
Yeah,
she was the next one. And then so like they did, and then Stella was the other one. So they were like, oh, well, so they just kept getting picked up, and they were like, all right. So then they stuck with their original ending, but then you're like, okay, well, shit, you could have just tweaked it a little bit.
Write in pencil next time and erase some things.
Exactly.
You'd be writing in Sharpie.
I was like, you could have changed the ending anyway. It would have been fine.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, that if he would have wrote the books instead of telling us that he's trying to write the books, he give an interview every day. He ain't wrote a single page or nothing though. He be giving us his opinions we don't ask for. See, we giving y'all opinions. We ain't got no books to write.
Exactly.
You got a book to write. Go write the book. Oh, he be pissing me off. Yeah.
All right. My number one, I've watched this show quite a few times, and it's long as hell, but Supernatural. Supernatural.
Yeah.
I've watched the shit out of this show. Like, this is like my religion at this point. It's Harry Potter, Supernatural. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen this shit. And like me and my friends, we got together for the season finale. We watched it, ordered pizza.
Two of your friends have tattoos.
Two of my friends got tattoos of the show. Everybody got the damn tattoo.
I have not watched a single episode of the show.
I love that damn show. I made my wife watch it. She actually liked it. She enjoyed it. Obviously, through 15 seasons, there's going to be some shitty episodes. There's definitely a few shitty episodes. 15 seasons.
Bro, I have not watched a single episode of this show.
There's going to be some shitty episodes in there, even like going back and rewatching them. You're like, oh God, that episode's so bad. But then there's like,
maybe I'll watch it.
There's some gems in there though. But yeah it's, that shit's
I have never watched that show. But
I had started it whenever it first came out with my dad. And so me and him watched it together, like week by week, whatever, like, back in the day, whenever we didn't have DVR and shit yet. We were just kind of hanging out. But I mean, that was appointment television for us. Like, we'd sit down and be, oh, this show's badass. All right, we got to watch it. And then I just kept up with it. And then my dad stopped watching it just like he always did. And then I had one of my friends come over and he stayed with me like all summer. And we watched every episode of Supernatural from season 1 to like season 10. And then just
327 episodes. Yeah. That's so crazy.
Yep. We watched, because it wasn't over yet whenever I made him start watching it, but we watched every single episode that was out. And he was like, holy shit, this show is amazing. He went and bought like the necklace that Dean wears and shit and was like,
that's crazy.
Super hyped about it. And so it became like his favorite show. And then, but Dean Winchester's one of the greatest characters of all time. My wife hates Sam, the brother in the show. She's like, he's such a crybaby bitch. He always starts shit. I'm like, that's fair. That's fair. That's fine. And then it's created by Eric Kripke, who's doing The Boys.
Well, I did not know that's who created that show. That's crazy.
Yeah. And
That's
so
crazy. That makes sense. But there's some care. Okay,
that's
that's
why
crazy.
it's like
I didn't
that's
know
why
he
they're
made
doing
this.
like the supernatural reunion in the last season with everybody.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That
So
makes so much sense that all those characters are in The Boys now.
yep.
Okay.
So he's doing
Which is
his
funny. It's
thing.
funny too because Supernatural came out on the CW, old Warner. It's on Netflix right now. But it's funny. We're both 33 years old, and
Hey, chill out, bro.
his favorite show. You said what?
So chill out, bro.
But it's funny because his favorite show is on the CW, and my favorite show all time is on the CW. So it's like you could just tell like what we used to watch. My favorite show all time is One Tree Hill.
That's crazy.
Listen, man, that's not a good show. Okay, but I watched this show since I was 11 years old. Okay, I had no business watching this show. It's about these two white boys,
White folks.
these brothers who they live in the same little small town. One dad abandoned one of them, but moved back to town and just act like that ain't his son. And everybody just like, cool, it ain't your son, little bastard boy. Like he did something wrong. But they basically just like they connect through hoops. It's the premise of the show. Actually, when you think about it, it's actually retarded. But yeah, like I said, I absolutely love this show. It's like I think it has like 9 seasons. Um, they just literally use basketball to connect, and they go through their high school coming of age stuff. Then you fast forward 4 years, and they're out of high school, and they're in love, and people get married at 22. All a bunch of unrealistic things now that I'm older. But when you're young, it's beautiful. Like 2 kids got married at 16. What? What are you
Yeah, that's
doing?
wild. That's some wild.
And they made it though. That's crazy. They made it. 16 years old, married. Bruh. 16. But no, it was like one trio. Yeah, Chad Michael Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. It's a good show, man. I can't even it's like guilty pleasure show. I'm not gonna lie. I watched that show 10, 11 times. Yeah. I love that show. I'm always watching One Tree Hill. Fictional, set in Wilmington, North Carolina, home of Michael Jordan. They actually play ball at his old high school. Man, come on. Great show. So we got, for me, I have One Tree Hill, Game of Thrones, The Office, The Wire, and Entourage.
Yep,
And then Tyler.
Supernatural, True Detective Season 1, Entourage, House, and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
There
So
you
there's
go.
some shows y'all can watch if you haven't seen them. We don't want to hear y'all say, "Oh, I don't know what to watch." Just pick
Yeah.
one. Some of them got plenty of seasons for you. So if you got time, you might as well just pick it
Supernatural
up.
got 327 episodes.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah,
You
that's a
got plenty
good,
of shit to watch.
that's a month right there. Holidays coming up.
Shit, that's more than a month. It took me like a whole summer to watch the first like 8 seasons.
That's crazy. All right, so as we come to a close again, as always, tell us something you're gonna be watching this week, man.
This week, probably the new season of Percy Jackson, most likely, hopefully.
Yes. Yes.
So that's on my plan. That's my plan anyway. I don't know.
Yes. Season 2, Percy Jackson, baby, Sea of Monsters.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch that as well. And for me, I have to go see Zootopia 2.
Yeah, I need to watch
Just
that.
crossed 1 billion. It's only been out for 2 weeks. Ted Sandros, consumers want to go to the movies, buddy. 1 billion in 2 weeks.
I need to watch that too, actually.
Yeah.
I do need to see that, but I have to have
Yeah,
time.
and everything I've heard about it is that it's the rare better than the original. And Zootopia, the first movie, was such a good movie.
But yeah, absolutely.
So I'm definitely gonna go see that, take my son. But yeah, like I said, so you got a bunch of shows, you got to know stuff about us and our bad taste in our all-time favorite shows. More so me than Tyler. But yeah, like I said, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, tell us some of y'all favorite shows. We'll see if we haven't watched them or everything like that. But
we'll watch them and then come back and tell you how wrong you are.
Yeah, thanks. Talk about what the hell happened in season 8 of Game of Thrones. That's what we all need to talk about. But yeah, man, appreciate you guys and let's surf, baby.